then I'm just gonna, push all the buttons and then.
All right.
So welcome to the podcast, Yaa.
Hello, 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 hello. Love it.
I am really excited. Like, first, your energy just makes me want to like dance. For those of you that are watching live, and for those of you that are on the podcast, like bright, big smile. I don't know, it makes my heart so happy. I just wanted to say that. But my first question is, in this moment in time in your life, what is that thing that's lighting you up the most in your business?
The thing that's lighting me up the most in my business is seeing my clients smile, seeing my clients, getting their energy back, getting their life back, seeing my clients actually live out their theme. So what I do is when I do my consultation with my clients, I usually, question them until we come up with a theme. So for example, one of my clients' theme is being in charge of her life, a woman in charge. And so I love seeing the progress that they're making as their theme. Another one of my clients is getting her life back. What are you doing to get your life back? And these are all the things that she's doing. And so that's what really lights me up. I love, of course, just the weight loss, but it's more of the feeling that's attached to it. So the weight loss is just basically the byproduct of it, but it's more about them actually participating in their life again, actually participating in, being confident about themselves again. And so that's what I absolutely love, love, love. And for me, it gives me the passion and the fuel to continuously go out there and reach people and let them know, hey, look, it's not difficult. It's not hard. You may have to put in a little bit of work, but it's so worth it because now you're letting your light shine. And so for me, it's so wonderful to be able to help my clients, feel better, start to look good, but most importantly, show up their best selves. And that's how they're doing it. They're showing up their best selves, not necessarily for family and friends or work, but for themselves. And that's what matters so, so, so much. So I absolutely love, love that. Just being able to see them transform from where they were when we did the consultation to even right now. Like amazing, getting up on your own, having energy, you're just noticing so much about yourself. You're liking yourself again. And so to me, that matters so, so much more. And so that's what keeps me alive doing what I do, and just brings life to me. And so I absolutely enjoy it. And so my mission and my platform is to use food and fitness to help people become confident in themselves. And so you don't have to look like what everybody else looks like, but you can just love yourself just as is. And so how do we go about doing that? We come up with a plan. We're very strategic about coming up with a plan on how you can just love yourself right where you are as you're progressing, but also appreciating that journey. So I take my clients on this beautiful journey from where they are to where they want to be. Ultimately, they want to feel phenomenal. Ultimately, they want to feel confident. Ultimately, they just want to show up their best selves. They want to feel energy again, have life again. So how do we go about doing that? We walk you through our 3-pillar system, systematically how you can go there. But it's a journey that needs to be appreciated. So I don't work with people that want quick results. Quick results just leads to fallback. But being able to appreciate every single step of the way as you're growing, not, as you're growing more into the person that you desire and want to be. So it's all about like, the vision that you have for yourself, bring it to life.
Oh, I love that. And I know that because you're so excited about seeing this in your clients, that you have a story where you watched your vision come to life. So can you tell us a little bit about that before your vision person?
Yeah, absolutely. Hot mess. Okay. In a ditch with a bottle, for sure. For sure. Just to, I know we've got very little bit of time, so I'm just going to give you cliff notes. I went from, losing my mom, losing my job, and then my fiance and we broke up, to where I am today. But I tell you, that was a journey from 2008 to 2022. And so there were so many things that I had to grow through in order to get to where I am today. So I had to grow through, no longer having treatments, where I was having treatments for about, I'm going to say a year and a half, almost seemed like 2 years, of when I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 28. And so I'm seeing my doctors regularly, going to my chemo, going to my radiation, going to my hormonal therapy appointments. So I'm seeing people regularly. And so I have this, so I go from all of a sudden a support system to now, okay, I have moved to Atlanta by myself and I have no family, no friends here. And what I thought was going to be a job opportunity, well, now that has fallen through the cracks. So now not only has that happened, I have now turned to the bottle. I've turned to, alcohol to help me numb the pain that I was going through, especially the loss of my number one cheerleader. So what do? That's all I knew what to do. But then one day I can remember where, I'll never forget this day for the rest of my life, because it has really helped me to appreciate even these moments that I'm in today, where I'll never forget, I drank probably a bottle of wine or maybe two, who knows? And I took some pills, and I remember saying, and mind you, I was surrounded in so much debt. I went through my savings, everything, and I'm like down to my last dollar, and I can't afford to pay my rent. Mind you, I had a roommate at that time. So, just imagine. And so I remember looking up into the ceiling, and I was like, God, if you have a purpose for me, allow me to wake up the next day. And so I'll never forget, I went ahead and fell asleep instantly in that moment. And then I woke up the next day and I looked at the ceiling and I said, shit, well, I guess I'm gonna have to live life. And so going from, that shit moment to now I am a woman helping others. But see, you realize I had to go through these things in order to be the coach that I am. So I can't coach people if I haven't been through it. So I've been through the depression, I've been through the suicide, I've been through, alcoholism, I've been through, self-image problems. I've been through just, comparing myself. I've been through all of that. And so that's what makes me so much more of a connection with my clients, because I've been there. Yeah, I can tell you I've been there. And that's what helps me fight so much more for my clients. And so I went from, I can remember talking to my cousin, Wesley, for every single day for a year and a half. I started walking and talking with him. That was the only thing that I could think of to, one, get me out the house and figure out something. So he walked and talked with me. And then I went from that point to, I can remember I had 4 part-time jobs and still was not able to pay. And so because I went through all of that, I lost so much weight because I was so anxious. I was depressed. I couldn't figure out anything. And I'm like, what do I do? So, I remember I had an apartment, had to leave there because my apartment got broken into. So I had to roommate with somebody. But from that point, I started running. I'll never forget the day where I was only able to run for like 30 seconds. To fast forward years later, I'm able to run 4.5 hours. So, that's a marathon that I did. So, I've taken on other challenges too. I can remember where I started going to the gym in 2009. Didn't know what I was doing. I said, well, let me just go ahead and grab a magazine. I don't know. But it gave me confidence. Anytime, I went there, looked through the magazine, and I did what the lady did. And I was like, okay, cool. And I felt confident. And so that's what, and because I've done that, I was able to get on stage twice to do a bodybuilding competition. So I'm always able to revert back to where I was. And so generally I use fitness for me personally as a mental breakthrough for me, because and that's what I do, is if I can do this physically, then mentally I can handle anything. And that's the whole key, is to be able to handle anything that comes my way. And that's what, I love sharing with my clients is, okay, what is going on in your world today? Talk to me. I need to know what's going on. Because then there's times where we're not talking about food and fitness, we're talking about where you're at mentally. It's so key to know where you're at mentally. And even this week, I went through my own trials and tribulations, mentally. But I'm glad that I didn't give up on myself. And sometimes that's what people are looking for, is someone not to give up on them. So you see, and for me, everyone had already given up on me, including my parents. But the one person that didn't give up on me was my cousin. And so he helped me to get to the next part in my life where I had a coach, a personal trainer who didn't give up on me. So even as you go through life, different stages, you're going to meet your person that's going to hold you accountable, but most importantly, that's not going to give up on you. And that's all I ever wanted. I wanted to feel included, and I didn't want people to give up on me. I wanted to feel loved because I didn't experience that. I didn't know what love was because I thought it was more of an exchange kind of thing, or I had to prove to people, if I do this for you, then you love me. So that whole kind of exchange thing. But I didn't value myself. And the only way I found value in myself was what I was doing for me. And so for me, my value came from, okay, what am I eating? Now, I'm not going to say I'm, did a diet or anything like that, but how does this food make me feel? I feel good. Me moving my body, how do I feel? Feel mentally fantastic. And so that's what it's about. Okay, what can you do today to honor yourself? And so that's the life I live now. Okay, what can I do today to honor myself? But not only honor myself, but also to what can I do to serve others? You see, I came from a past before. I've done entrepreneurship before, but it was all about give me, give me, give me. What can I get out of this? But I'm so grateful that my higher power allowed me to lose it in order to start back up again. Because now it's all about how can I serve others? That is the thought every single day. What can I do to serve others? How can I make other people, how can I make connections for other people? And, just living an honest, transparent, unapologetic life. Don't apologize for who you are. You are a magnificent person, believe it or not. And whatever you're going through at this very, very moment, it is not the end. It is just a signal that your breakthrough is coming.
Oh, how powerful is that? It's not the end. It's a signal that a breakthrough is coming. Like, boom, mic drop. We could be done right now. And like, that's like the most profound thing I've heard. My brain is like, whoa, say it again. Say it for those in the back.
Right. Hear it.
Did you hear that? Come on. If you did not, go back and play again. Go back and play again.
Absolutely.
I love how you're sharing this and being transparent about all the different things. And there were so many things that you just said that like trigger, which some of them are good triggers. Some of them are like, because of my experience, I'm like, oh, food and movement. I've used those as punishments where you've used them as allowing them to bring you to that next level. And I think that's a really important thing that we need to distinguish, because a lot of the time when people talk about food and fitness, it's as a punishment or a beat down because you're not fitting into society's boxes. So how you're sharing this makes my heart so happy.
Oh, absolutely. And, that's the thing too, is that, I start working with my clients on, especially on the consultations, is what is your relationship with food when you were a kid? Because now we need to bridge why you have that relationship today. And so what we want to do is break that barrier. Why do you use food as punishment? I too used food as punishment. It wasn't for me to consume it, but it was for me to deny myself. I can remember where, I would, because I had such high expectations of myself. And because sometimes if I felt like I did not do well or accomplish or whatever, I would say, you don't deserve to eat today. And literally that would go on. And I'm like, so literally one day I had to say, Yaa, why do you keep saying that? And it was, oh, remember when you used to live in DC and they didn't feed you? Right, that's where that comes from. And so now, because I'm able to identify, okay, where does this come from? Now I can start putting in the work and say, no, you deserve to eat. You absolutely deserve to eat. You have food here to nourish you. You have food that tastes good. You have food that's so yummy. Enjoy it. But, it doesn't have to be a punishment, but you have to ask yourself, why? Why is this food? Why am I punishing myself with food? What is going on with me internally? Because there's always something going on internally that you have not resolved. And because you haven't resolved it, your way of resolving it is, okay, let me just, let me just eat or however you are with your food. So it's so important to look at your relationship and really dig deep. Why do I punish myself with food? Why do I deny myself food? Or why do I eat so much sweets? What is it? And because of that, some of my clients were able to identify, you know what, the reason why I am the way I am with food is because I can remember when I was a kid, they used to say, hey, if you eat that, you're going to get fat. And so that stuck with her all the way into her 30s. So you're in your late 30s and you're still behaving as if you were 6 or 7 or 13 years old. Okay, and what can we do? Now, we know what it is. Let's go ahead and start the work on removing that barrier. Because everyone deserves to eat. Everyone needs to enjoy the deliciousness, the savory foods. There's nothing wrong with that. But how you go about it is that needs to be, addressed.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I'm so in awe of like what you're bringing, because it is still sadly the not normal to hear this version.
Yeah.
And I think that it's magical, and I think it's cool that you brought your, like you said, the story of DC, like they told you not to eat that. It's like, whoa.
Right. Yeah,
That
because
one little moment impacted how many years later?
Right. I mean, 20, so that affected me for like what, 30 years? Because I'm 45. And so, you go from, okay, well, they didn't feed me. You're 13, you're 12, you're 13 years old, and they're just not feeding you because of whatever personal issues that are going on. So I'm sitting in the room, not eating. Okay. Or either if I'm lucky, maybe tuna and crackers, and that would be it. To now, the same thing with the whole, like, finish everything on your plate. I'll never forget. I sat at the table for 2 hours. I mean, like, but guess what? That followed me all the way into my adulthood. Oh, I got to finish everything. It doesn't matter if I'm stuffed. I got to finish it. No, that's okay. You don't have to continue eating this. Really? No, you don't. It's okay. And that's the key thing. You have to let yourself know that it is okay. You have to let yourself know that it is okay to feel the way that you are. It is okay to be who you are. It is okay to say, you know what? This is where I am. I don't necessarily like where I am, but I would like to do better. Very good. That's the step in the right direction. I'm not asking you to do a boot camp, and I'm sure it's not going to ask you to do like a 1,100 or 1,000 or 500 calorie diet. I'm not going to ask you to do that, because I myself am not going to do it. That's actually one of my meals. I mean, come on, let's be real. That's actually one of my meals, okay? But what I am going to ask you is, how does that make you feel when you eat that, when you consume that? How does it make you feel knowing that you're on the couch with a remote watching Netflix and not moving your body? I'm going to ask you these questions. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to judge you. Hey, no worries. But let's see if we can perhaps, while you're watching one of your favorite shows on Netflix, let's see if we can perhaps maybe get you to stretch. Doing some stretching or maybe some ab movements, whatever. I'm not going to tell you, you don't even have to move from the couch. Ooh. So it's all about slowly transitioning. So you want to transform. So a lot of people come to me, I want to transform the way I look on the outside. Oh, that's very good. I'm glad you come to me with that. But see, my thing is, I'm going to help transform you from the outside to within. So you're doing the work on the outside, but I'm going to help you really dig deep down inside to bring whatever's on the inside out. And you're going to shine like a star, because you are the star of your show, which is your life. And so how do you want to shine? How do you want to represent yourself? And these are questions that we go through. And so we identify. She wants to shine like this. Very good. And so I will always remind you daily, my queen, my sister, my star, What are we doing today to shine?
Ooh. What are we doing today to shine? So what did you do today to shine?
Gosh, well, a plethora of things.
I had to ask the question.
Right? I mean, like a plethora of things. I mean, trust me, I didn't wake up shining. I woke up like a hot mess, crying and everything like that, boo-hooing and everything like that. I mean, keeping it real, I was just a hot mess crying. And I said, okay, yeah, we already know that you're not sending out invitations to the pity party because the last time you did that, nobody came. So what are we going to do? So I went ahead and I walked my dog. I did a run. I worked with, my clients and, chatted with, someone that, I can release and, kind of talk to them about what's going on in my world. And that's the way I shine. I allowed myself to be open with someone where I can share my world with. I was just being honest with myself and then just allowing myself, I don't not be rigid because I used to be extremely, extremely rigid. And so for me today, shining was just getting out, walking my dog. And if that's all that I did, then I am so happy. To me, then that's a success. I used to measure my success on material things and, money. But now my success is, what did I do today for me? What did I do today that I accomplished? And some days it could just be, like I said, simply just walking the dog. That was a success. I'm proud of you. Sometimes it could just be showing up for a meeting. Very good. And that's what people need to, understand and realize. You don't have to do 1,001 things, but what is that one thing that you can be proud of yourself that you did today? And don't be afraid to pat yourself on the back. Why not? You deserve it.
Be your biggest cheerleader. Celebrate every win.
Absolutely. But I had to learn that, we grow up a certain way. And then sometimes we look at society and we have social media. We have so many influences. So now I have to pick which one is going to influence my life. Which one's going to influence my day? And so sometimes I have to go from here to, just right here. I just need right here. I just need my dog, my significant other, and then just someone I can trust, a good friend. And then that's it. That's all the influence that I need for that day, because that can lead to, and it has for me, lead to, okay, imposter syndrome, compare and despair, all of that. And so if I can just limit to, okay, my circle of influence, and then who am I being influenced by? How am I being influenced? What is influencing me? So, so, so important, because that actually dictates how you live your life. What is influencing you right now?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
It's an amazing, it's one I should ask myself every morning when I wake up, because we do, like when you say social media and like, it's just everywhere. Everything is in our face. And it's like that comparisonitis. Oh man,
Yeah.
she's the nasty girl sometimes.
Right. Oh, she's very nasty. I mean, like, it's sometimes you have to just take, take a break, even for me, like, I mean, last week, and I'll never forget, and normally I'm not on social media unless I'm, doing, promoting something or what have you for work. But last week I got caught up in it. 5 scrolls later, still on there. 2 hours. What are you doing on here for 2 hours? And now you wonder why you feel the way that you do. Well, you just was on social media for 2 hours. What do you expect? I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? Now you're in compare and despair. You're about to fall out your bed. You're about to make a scene in your own house because you was on social media for 2 hours. It's not necessary. It's not. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing, y'all, because that is not your path. You must remember what your path is. Your path is just to move at your own beat, and you are moving at the right speed. Not too fast, not too slow, but at the right speed. Because sometimes if you try to move too fast and try to follow everybody else that's on their path, you'll miss some gems that you're supposed to get. And because you missed it, you got to go back and revisit it again. So it's better for you to stay on your own journey, have someone to hold you accountable on that journey, have people, cheering you on from the back, but then also have someone guide you. Have a guide, a good influence guide. You don't need very many people. You just need those who support you. Now find your support. Sometimes it may not be family and friends. Sometimes you may just have to find a group. I've done that before. I've joined Facebook groups because I needed that support. I need to surround myself with other like-minded people, regardless what realm it was, rather from business to, fitness or whatever. That's what I need. And so, I challenge you to find that support today. I challenge you to ask yourself, how will I shine today? I don't care what time it is, you can always shine. It's never too late until you're dead. I don't care how old you are, it's never too late. Don't let anything or anyone limit you or your mind. Yeah, like I tell my people, I tell them, some of the kids I mentor, as high as the sky, go ahead and reach for it. Because nothing in this world is impossible. You just have to figure out how to go about achieving it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And like that impossible word, a long time ago, I saw that meme that's like, I'm possible. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I am
Impossible.
possible.
That's right. You are. And you have to believe it. You have to find your word for the year. I joined a group, it's called Happy Neighbor Project, and the word for the year is imagine. But my word for the year is breakthrough. So find your word for that this year and hold on to it and capture it. So what's your word for this year? My word is breakthrough in every single aspect of my life. I want to break through in my relationships, in my finances, in my health, in my spirituality, mentally, all of that. So what is your word for the year?
Mine is what is mine? Embody and intentional are I have two words because I feel like you have to be intentional to embody.
Right?
So everything I'm doing is intentional to embody this new version of Jen.
Absolutely. And so what does that look like? You have to ask yourself,
Oh yeah.
what does an intentional embodied Jennifer looks like? How does she move? What is she doing? Why is that her words? When is she going to experience that? What part of the days are she going to experience that? What does that exactly look like? How does it feel? How does it smell? What are the senses of it? And so and that's how you know what your word is. And then you're able to really experience that word, embody and intention.
Yeah. And it's so powerful to just pick the one word too. Because
Yeah.
like I used to make this huge big thing and I'm like, no, let's keep it simple because simple allows you to move forward.
Absolutely. You just need a few words or one word, that's it. And then just and remind yourself, even when those moments come where you feel like you're not where you feel like you're not being intentional or you're not experiencing that embodiment, just know that it's just a way of you letting you know, hey, look, a breakthrough is about to happen. So never give up on yourself and put all that, and I say bet all on you. Like, say if you're at the casino, I say, you know what, I put all the money on me. If you can't bet all on you, bet it all.
Oh, I love that. So to go back to rewind and go back to what you said
Yeah.
about the 2 hours stuck in the scroll, what did you do after you got stuck for 2 hours in the scroll watching everyone's highlight reels? Because that isn't their real life. How did you shift out of that feeling and that just, I don't know, for me, it just creates this like tightness and like closed offness. How do you shift when you end up, because we're all human, we're going to get stuck on
Yeah.
occasion.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be real with you because this coach was like, I'll be honest with you, I'm like, that's some bullshit. I'm going to sleep. That's how I was. I was like, I'm going to sleep. And I went to sleep mad and I went to sleep it that way, but you know, I had to journal. The next day, okay, let's get real and let's get down with it. Because sometimes, not every no, maybe there's no one around that I could talk to about or joke about it with whatever. But for me, journaling works because now I'm getting down to the root of why is it some bullshit? Why is it that? Because I don't have what they have. Very good. I'm not experiencing their life. But what is it that you want to? So it's all about asking yourself questions. Very good. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. And so once I've journaled that, because that is like, I mean, so I have to do like self-coaching for myself. Well, why is that? Why does it make you feel that way? Well, how do you feel about yourself now? Well, what are you going to do? Okay. Are you okay with who you are? Do you really want to experience their life? And do you even know how they even got there? Do you know even their story or journey? Do you even know if it's real or not? No, you're right where you're supposed to be. That hurts when even yourself or someone tells you you're right where you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be where they are. They're supposed to be where they are. You're right where you're supposed to be. So buckle up, buttercup, and enjoy the ride. And that was, like I said before, I mentioned where, I did entrepreneurship before, it was all about, okay, I got to hurry up and experience this so I can have this fabulous lifestyle, crash and burn. Now it's all about, okay, what can I learn during this time in the season of my entrepreneurship? What can I learn and appreciate about this season in my life? Because I'll never, ever get this season back. And I sure do not want to repeat it.
Yeah.
Well, what can I do now in this season?
What can I do now in this season?
Right.
Love that.
Yeah, because, and I was on, I shared yesterday with someone, while you're waiting to get to where you want to be, you can always be doing something. So I'm waiting to get to 6, 7, 8 figures. Well, while I'm waiting to get there, what can I do now? Oh, I can go to networking events. I can have one-on-ones. I can do consultations. I can do podcasts. I can do, Facebook Lives. I can do workshops. These are things that I can do while I'm waiting to get to the 6, 7 figures. Now you have to appreciate the moment that you're in now, or else you will not appreciate even when you get to where you want to be. So what can we do now to appreciate the season that we're in? You don't have to rush. Life is not going to be over so quickly and so soon. You can actually experience it. So just like it says behind me, today is a perfect day for you to live your dreams. Whatever it is, today's the perfect day to just appreciate everything and everyone. Appreciate the things that you do have, and even appreciate the things that you don't have. Appreciate your health so much. Appreciate your health. Appreciate your financial position, even if you're down to your last dollar, because at least you're down to your last dollar. Appreciate everything. And so the more appreciation you have, the more abundance you will have. And that's in every respect of your life, health, wealth, and relationships. But first you have to have an appreciation for it. You don't have, and I promise you, when you start having appreciation and gratefulness and showing gratitude for the things that you have in your life, you'd be surprised the abundance that's going to come afterwards. You're like, wow, I wasn't even expecting this. This is awesome. This is great. Because you have already showed appreciation for what you have. So why not get more of what you want?
Yep. That energy attracts more. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
And it becomes easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So easy instead of out here, quote unquote, hustling. No, you don't have to do that. You just have to just do. Yeah.
Do it your way. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we put so much pressure on ourselves, but we have to ask ourselves, why am I putting so much pressure on myself to reach that particular goal? You have to ask yourself why. And I promise you, you'll get down to the root of it if you continually ask yourself, why am I in a rush to, have 6, 7 figures? Why am I in a rush to lose weight? Why am I in a rush to get in a relationship or get out of one? Ask yourself these questions. Why is the number one question to always ask, to get down to the root of it? Once you get to the root of it, now the next question is, what are you going to do? Question after that, how are you going to go about it? Question after that, when you're going to do something.
Yeah. And who are you going to have as your team?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Who's in your cheer squad?
Yeah, absolutely. Who's going to cheer you on? And maybe for the time being, maybe you have to be your only cheerleader. You have to learn. You have to learn how to cheer yourself on, because the more you rely on other people, the more you will rely on them for your success in whatever realm in your life, whether it's health, wealth, or relationships. So sometimes you have to learn how to cheer yourself on.
Yeah. Or have somebody like you help learn to cheer so we can learn to cheer ourselves on. So where can people get a hold of you if they want you in their corner? Because like I said, your
Yeah,
energy just like fires me up. I'm like, okay, I can run 30 seconds. I
yeah,
can think about how
absolutely.
the food makes me feel. This
Absolutely. So
doesn't sound horrible.
right, absolutely. I mean, like, yeah, I love cheesecake too. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to enjoy that. But where you can find me and maybe find me having a slice of cheesecake is on my Facebook, which is Yaa, Yaa, Astar, Astar. Also on Instagram, Yaa_Astar. And then also my website, yaastar.com.
I'll make sure to get all that information in the show notes because, we
Yeah.
all like easy click and go.
No,
So my
absolutely.
right? So my favorite question to close out interviews is if someone would walk away with just that one like mic drop pivotal moment, like nothing else mattered, what would you want them to walk away with?
But you matter. That's it. That you matter. That is the mic drop there. So I'm hoping that this, reaches someone where they may be in a place and space in their life where they may be going through a struggle, a difficult time in their life. And they may feel like, you know what, this is it for me. But I want you to know that you matter. All you have to do is reach out to someone and know that you matter, you're worth it.